Tonight on DC News Now.
This, of course, came as a huge shock.
After weeks of speculation, an answer on the state of the Princess of Wales.
As a young mom, that really hits me hard. I cannot imagine that diagnosis and having children.
The world's reaction to her cancer diagnosis and how the announcement is shaking up royal family norms.
Dragging a DMV first warn, Dave Fletting's on the table. Let's talk about it coming up.
Plus, the owner of Monumental Sports wants to pull out of D.C., but is he allowed to?
I think we're now going to start seeing the receipts being pulled about this issue.
A legal expert weighs in as D.C.'s Attorney General says the Caps and Wizards are locked into their lease for another 2 decades. And as March Madness gets underway, there's a new push to expand sports betting in the district. But could that come with repercussions?
The more widespread it gets, it could be more dangerous.
We're breaking it all down tonight.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan. And we begin tonight with a live look outside at the U.S. Capitol. All clear at this hour, but just in a few hours from now, our team is tracking washout conditions. Our chief meteorologist, Janessa Webb. Janessa, we are gearing up for quite a soaker for Saturday.
Yeah, we have issued that DMV first warn day for tomorrow. After the rainfall tomorrow morning, still going to have blustery winds, and so we're going to keep that intact for most of your day. It's going to be a very chilly rain across the DMV. I know you're seeing kind of the winds right now. Our camera's shaking. It's due to the leading edge of this storm system that's going to quickly make its way across the DMV. Let's talk temperatures, upper 40s right now. A breeze that's coming out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. But look at all the dew points and humidity. It's very dry out there, so any moisture that we do see is going to be super beneficial. Last night when I saw you, it was DC surrounding counties. They have expanded this flood watch into most areas of the DMV except for west of I-81. You're still going to deal with rain if you're not in that green zone. It's just lesser amounts. To our north, we have lake enhancement, but there's the storm system. As well to our south, our friends in Raleigh-Durham area, Roanoke, parts of Charlottesville, you have Louisville, Kentucky as well, going to get in on this rain. If you're headed southbound, going to run into rain for tonight, and then northbound on I-95 corridor, Philadelphia, New York City, by mid-afternoon, you have widespread rain as well. Satellite composite radar, we have a few clips of moisture out towards Kaiser and Cumberland. Here's the timing on the situation. From now until 7 a.m., it's going to be a steady rain across the region with the heaviest amounts making its way from 7 a.m. through the noon hour. That's where you'll have the highest impact. And then behind this storm system, it's going to stay very windy. Many elements to this pretty broad center of circulation. Let's time things out along with totals coming up. Chris?
All right, Janessa, we'll see you then. Thanks. Turning now to the Princess of Wales and her heartbreaking cancer diagnosis. Princess Kate's disappearance from the public eye, followed by a doctored family photo, sparked weeks of wild speculations. Now we know from a rare video released by Kensington Palace, she's undergoing chemotherapy and in the early stages of treatment. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg live tonight at the British Embassy here in DC. And Daniel, a lot of people sending their well wishes to the princess tonight.
Yeah, Chris, this is not news that anybody wants to hear, but especially for somebody in the public eye, well wishes are pouring in everywhere from the White House to British pubs here in D.C.
This, of course, came as a huge shock. And William and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this privately for the sake of our young family.
Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, is discussing her diagnosis after abdominal surgery in January.
The surgery was successful. However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present.
Her absence from the public eye since then has fueled a lot of speculation, especially after earlier this month she posted a photo that appeared to be digitally altered. Now well wishes are pouring in from the White House.
Our thoughts are with the Duchess of Cambridge and her family members and friends during this incredibly difficult time.
And at a British pub in Northeast where visitors are empathetic.
As a mom, you're thinking about, well, how does this affect my child? But she has the added challenge of, well, how does this affect other people? And that's just really unfair, and I can't imagine what she's processing.
Kate is asking for privacy, but has this message for the world watching.
For everyone facing this disease, in whatever form, please do not lose faith or hope. you are not alone.
It's so healing as human beings when we have someone that relates to what we're going through. And I'm really interested to see how it plays out in the perspective of what does it mean for healthcare and access.
Now, in a statement released by Buckingham Palace, King Charles III said that he is, quote, so proud of Catherine for her courage in speaking as she did. King Charles dealing with his own cancer diagnosis. We're live in Northwest. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, Daniel, thank you. Now, the palace statement said no details will be provided about her cancer or her treatment other than that she started it in late February. Now, a video of this nature, keep in mind, it's extremely rare for the royal family. Historically, they have kept any health issues out of the public eye. When it was revealed last month that both Kate and King Charles III were both having health troubles, that marked a major shift. While the king has not been the first to battle cancer in his family, he was the first to make his battle public. We have new details tonight. Shenandoah National Park is continuing to close trails as a wildfire burns through more than 1,000 acres there of land. You're looking at video now of another wildfire in Shenandoah County, as seen from Newmarket. Now, a park-wide fire ban does remain in effect right now at Shenandoah National Park until further notice. Of course, we'll continue to monitor these conditions all throughout the weekend. And developing news out of Russia tonight, ISIS has claimed responsibility for that country's deadliest attack in years. Terror group put out a statement by an ISIS-affiliated news agency tonight. 40 people were killed and more than 100 others injured when several gunmen opened fire at the largest concert hall in Moscow. It happened earlier today. The attackers also used explosives, which caused that venue, you can see here, to go up in flames. The brazen attack comes just days after President Vladimir Putin was reelected to a 5th term. Well, we have new details tonight out of Fairfax County. After a days-long manhunt, an 18-year-old is now in custody in connection to the shooting death of a 14-year-old Wakefield High School student. A shooting happened outside of a hotel in Herndon Wednesday. Police say it stemmed from a fight and that the suspected shooter, Ishmael Cruz Del Cid, and the victim knew each other. Officers say that it got a call from the suspect's attorney late last night, who arranged to turn himself in to police. He faces second-degree murder, gun, and drug charges.
The life of a 14-year-old child was simply not lost the other day. It was taken by a gunman who intentionally shot and killed one of our children.
Anytime a student's life is taken before its time is a tremendous loss for us.
Well, meanwhile, we have an update tonight on the government shutdown deadline. Lawmakers have just 3 hours left to pass a budget before, of course, a midnight deadline to avoid a partial shutdown. The House approved that bill late this morning. Now it's the Senate's turn. Our White House correspondent, Jesse Tenor, will have exactly where things stand on Capitol Hill coming up all new at 9:30. Meanwhile, staying in the district, there is a new push to expand sports betting options. It comes as the council looks at ways to fix D.C.'s failing mobile betting system. Gambit DC, our reporter Marielle Carbone following the story for us tonight. And Marielle, this would really overhaul the system as we know it.
Yeah, Chris, it would. We know since DC launched Gambit back in 2020, there have been nothing but issues. That includes losing money and also the system freezing, so much so that DC Lottery and Gaming actually dropped Gambit in favor of FanDuel earlier this month. Now, this new legislation, it takes things even further, expanding the market more.
Big screens, you eating, some people drinking, you having a good time.
For Coley Briggs, betting on sports at the MGM Sportsbook is a daily venture.
NBA, WNBA, baseball.
Still, he'd like to see his options expanded.
Expand them in different areas and then about your phone.
And it could happen. This week, Councilmember Kenya McDuffie filed a new bill that would allow sportsbooks, like the one here at Nats Park, to offer their mobile betting apps throughout a majority of the city. Right now, they're restricted to a 2-block radius of their brick and mortar. It would also create a new sports betting license for sports teams who are based in D.C., allowing them to partner with whichever mobile betting platforms they choose. McDuffie, writing on social media, our current model isn't working. This bill will bring needed competition into the sports wagering marketplace.
I think it's cool how it's like, this is Navy Yard and it's like you go to one place and you could bet there, but everywhere else isn't like surrounded by bedding.
Still, some worry about the repercussions of expanding betting options.
Bedding's like a lot of people can't control it, so like the more widespread it gets, it could be more dangerous.
The move comes nearly 2 weeks after DC Lottery and Gaming announced a new partnership with FanDuel and dropping the failing Gambit DC as its sole mobile betting vendor in the district.
And so if this were to pass, the first $300,000 made in revenue would go towards programs that would help prevent and treat gambling addiction. The next $1 million would be used for after-school sporting events or sporting teams and extracurricular activities within DC public schools. Reporting live here in the newsroom tonight, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
See what happens, Marielle. Thanks. Meanwhile, happening this weekend, it is the first weekend of DC's Cherry Blossom Festival. So starting tomorrow, Tidal Basin Welcome Area is open daily from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. You can catch live performances and see those beautiful blooms. Also tomorrow, opening ceremony starts at 5 p.m. That's being held at the Warner Theater. Now, a limited number of walk-up tickets may be available. The good news, all Metro lines are on a normal service schedule this weekend. Now, the closest Metro stop to the Tidal Basin is the Smithsonian. Meanwhile, if you plan to bike there and can't find a bike dock, Capital Bike Share will open a bike corral at Jefferson Drive and 14th Street. That'll be open this weekend and next weekend from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m.